What's up, guys? Jeremy Clark here at Phil's Jackson on X, coming to you from the Premium Tier Futures Discord. That's at Premium FTS on X and at the Chop Zone on YouTube. And I'm just here with one of our admins, Eli, and we're going to be going over the trades that we took or spotted, going back to Friday and possibly some others during the week, but just kind of a weekly recap. I think we're going to focus a lot on Friday though, and it's I think today is Sunday the 4th. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Sunday the 4th. Okay, cool. Yeah. So welcome, Eli. Thanks for joining us. Anything you would like to add or throw in there?
Um, yeah, I mean today I just had a couple of clips. They're not any trades. They're just kind of some interesting things on the DOM uh, that I noticed this week.
Very
Uh,
cool.
yeah, yeah. Friday was intense. Have to
Yeah, it
see
was.
what you got.
Yeah, Friday was crazy. We had that big drop. Um, you can see it sort of over here, the bottom of the screen.
Well, well, I'll share this.
Okay, pulling that up now, and I'm just gonna pop that out and full screen it. That should be good to go there. Are you, yeah, I think you can see it on your end. I can see it on my end, so I think we're good to go.
Okay. Yeah. So this is something that I've been noticing for a long time, and I just kind of wanted to point it out so we can talk about it. But uh, if you pay close attention to the offer side, so the red column, I don't know if you can see my mouse or not.
I
Yeah,
do not see your mouse at the moment, but
okay. Yeah, we'll pay close attention to the offer column.
okay,
Um, Price is going to come down and then bounce back up and then go down again. And you can see the offers a ways above market, maybe about 10 ticks above, are going to swell. And then
okay,
they swell as price moves away. And then as it comes back up, they decrease again. And it's pretty steady. So I'll just start this. Uh,
okay. So I'm watching this red column, seeing a little bit of dip. There was a 95 lot that looks like part of it got hit and it kind of started this run down. So we're at like 55.91-ish, 92, and
so
then
if you
now
watch
it's
kind of the 94 area,
okay.
uh,
So that's right
I
around
think we're going
here.
to go lower than that as well. But you can see the offers up there kind of averaging between 60 and 80, 70 and
Yeah,
80 right now.
yeah, I see that.
This is a pretty short clip. I think it's about 2 minutes. So,
That's cool.
uh,
So it's struggling right here at 91.
yeah. Yeah. So there we're up to about 80 to 90 price moving higher.
And I saw a bunch of 100 lots plus come in. There was a big
And
992 print right there at 91.25 or 91.50.
so still on the offer side, we're down to around 60, between 60 and 70, right there in that 94 zone.
I see it.
And everything above that decreases as price moves higher. If you look higher than that, around 97, 96,
Okay,
all those offers are 90 to 100.
I see that. Yeah, this whole row right here. So now we're at 93.
So now that we're hitting this 94 zone, they're all down to 60, right? As you go
Yeah,
higher, 70 and up to 90 in that 598 region. And so what I think is happening is that this is a bot that adds all these small offers all the way up the stack in order to add selling pressure, but they don't actually intend to fill any of these orders. So I think they
Sure.
spread it all out so it's much less obvious.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening too. They spread it out, and also if one of them gets hit, it slows it down enough that they can pull the other orders rather than having all four. Because I'm seeing a 100 lot, 129, 107, 111 lot spaced at, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 or 8 ticks apart. Maybe this one's like 4 ticks apart. This next one's about 8 ticks apart. Yeah.
So you can see as we come back down, those will add back in, and you'll go up to 70 and 80.
Okay. I'm seeing your mouse now too. I don't know if maybe that's from the recording or if that's.
I think that's the recording.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but yeah, 94 back up 80 and 90 per tick.
Yeah. So they're, like you said, they're adding selling pressure as price is moving, as you're getting volume on the spread, and then they start pulling it when it flips back the other way.
When it bounces back the other way. So how much of these are real orders? See, you can see them all decrease again.
Yeah.
Seems like what's actually trading is around 50 or less per tick.
Oh, yeah. I see they all drop down right there. Back up at 92.
But anyways, I just wanted to show this. This is something I see it every day, and I just think it's something to be aware of when you're watching the DOM. That especially looking at those kind of the summaries. I can't zoom or I can't scroll to it on the recording, but at the tops of the columns they have the total offers,
Mm.
uh, and those would be very skewed if most of this gets pulled as price approaches.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I've been changing my uh, DOM filter to like, I think I have it at 14, so I can still see those. I'm just focusing on that little middle range that where price is trading, and then I can see, if it's getting weighted to the bid or the offer.
Uh,
Very cool. So, how would you trade this?
yeah, honestly, I don't know.
Or would you stay out? Is this a stay out signal, or is this something tradable, or
I think I went short on this one. I can't. So we're getting this pullback here. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember how I traded it. The I was just watching at this point. So
yeah,
we've got these whenever we're less than 100 or so on each tick, between 80 and 100, less than that, it starts to get more volatile, less predictable. I think
yeah.
for the way that I trade.
I'm noticing too there's this big high volume node right here. 1910 traded at 54.44. Sorry, at 55.98. Um, so that was really skewed to the buyers right there, which means they weren't able to push it higher. They sort of hit that point and fell off. And that zone is sort of where um, those large orders were kind of spoofing. They were coming in higher and then getting pulled, and then coming in higher, getting pulled. And then if I go down, I'm noticing at 55.92, there's the delta of the trades that went through is 1250 to the buy side. So um, buyers were able to force a turnaround in that area, and it did go a little lower. I think it went down to like 90, maybe even, what was it, 89, 88, but it came back up to that sort of high volume node. So that to me was kind of the range that we were watching. And if you look to the left on the auction vista, um, it is kind of a horizontal range that's happening. It looks like 5596 to 5600, right in there. And then there's like mini consolidations inside there as well. Um, there was this first one on the far left that was sort of a diagonal wedge going up. It came down into this little horizontal consolidation that popped up, did another diagonal to the downside, and then we went up and we went back down. So that
So
that range,
one way to trade this, what you could do is wait for the pullback down to around the 92 area, and then as price comes back to the POC or to that retest the high volume node, you could play that to the downside
so
depending
would
on
that
what
be
price is.
the pink bar right here on the volume profile,
Yeah,
5598.75, and you'll see that's right by where that 1910 went through. So there's a little bit of slippage there, but yeah, that'd be a good spot to possibly go short from and go to the short side.
it
I'd
would
be looking.
really depend on what price is doing for me. We are in this
Mhm.
big. I mean, we just had a huge rally, so
Yeah,
I would have to watch and see what happens when we get back into that region.
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I would also be kind of watching these low volume nodes right around 55, 92, 50, for price to bounce there. And you can see there was that 1250 um, bonus to the delta to the buy side that occurred right
Yeah,
there. And I'd be tempted to play those back up to the upside as well, back up to
yeah.
value. Maybe, something like 55.93 on volume to 55.9650. There's a little low volume node right there.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be a
very
good
cool.
one.
That's actually, 3 or 4 points you could take off of that. Cool stuff.
Well, I'll share this other one. This one's more exciting. This is I was just telling you a couple days ago that I never see this happen, and then just the very next day I saw one.
Oh, cool.
Figured I'd share it. This is a we're we're dropping pretty quickly here, and we got a seller who gets extremely aggressive. You can see
Okay.
his orders slide into the bid. Start this. So we're bouncing a bit here. There's still a lot of selling pressure though.
Yeah, I can see that histogram is pretty stacked right now on the offer.
So if you watch the red column again, I I think I point to it in the recording,
Mm. Yeah, there's a little
but
cursor pointing to it.
so I'm watching those offers right now. See,
Are you watching to see if they start to pull or if they start to get added to? Is that sort
yeah, I
of
was
what you're
looking
watching for?
for more pressure.
For more selling pressure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think this is so. Here's this. I think this is about to pop up, and so it'll be. It's not too large. I think it's around 80 or so. It's gonna pop up. Uh, okay, right there's the first move. So you can see this. It's at 552.25. There's a stack for 65 right there. I'm gonna go back a second. It's one
Okay.
tick higher. So there it is at 50, just above where my mouse is there.
I see it.
On the offer side though.
So the 63 lot that's sitting at 52.50.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So as I play this, that's going to as we start dropping, that'll slide down lower and lower. That's somebody it could be a bot. I think this one's actually a person though. The way that it moves gets more and more aggressive the faster price moves.
Okay.
So you can see that drop once,
Yeah.
drop down, down, down. Couple more times, price drops, and then you can see it slam down into price. You can go back and play it once more.
So you're saying that that 60 lot gets hit, they drop it lower and it gets hit?
Yeah, he just pushed it right into the offer. See it coming down, coming down. Price breaks, and then he goes real quick right in. So this would be somebody getting really aggressive who doesn't want to miss out on the next move lower.
Yeah, they were chasing it, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah. So definitely something to watch for. I mean, it doesn't mean that they are going to be right. This person could be totally overwhelmed and is about to make a big mistake. You never know. But uh,
Yeah, that was kind of my first thought, just looking at how price is bouncing right here.
oops.
It looks like they were able to take a little chunk of that though. Maybe four or
Yeah,
five ticks. And that might have been all they were trying to get.
yeah, yeah. That's true too.
It's it's interesting. I'm going through the Norden course right now, and it kind of covers this exact thing, or maybe what this seller was trying to accomplish. Um, he really recommends setting a limit order, maybe a couple ticks behind the price on the offer, um, in the hopes that price will back up on you and get filled, but momentum will continue the other way. And then, his method would only take like one or two ticks off of that. But, with this amount of volume coming in, I'd be willing to hold with like a break even stop and just see if I could get a few more ticks out of it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
think I would be more, let's say that I too was chasing price down, which maybe we shouldn't do. The idea is to get in before, but let's say I was. I just wanted to throw like one tick at it and see if it was going to get continuation. I might feel more comfortable if I'm seeing this large seller doing the same, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you're
That's
right.
true. I think it was Lance Brightstein. I don't know how you pronounce his last name, but he was when talking about capitulations. He said something that was kind of cool. Was that when you start to see maybe not just one, but when you see a couple of people doing that, or just slamming in people who are clearly emotional, he starts looking at the other side to see where those people might have to stop out if price comes back.
Yeah, because, if price turns around on them, they're trapped,
Yeah,
and
and they're
that's
already emotional. They're way more likely to make a mistake.
for sure. And that's definitely like a Norden thing too, is to kind of see where they would be trapped if price reverses.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Well, that's what I had this week. I've got another clip, which maybe I'll save for next week, but I'll see where we're at a little later.
okay. Cool. I've got a couple of screenshots that I can add in here. Let's just see. Let's get this return to app. Okay, cool. Um, so this chart actually was one I wanted to go over slightly. It was something that you had asked the question I think last week when we were talking to Nigel, who's really big on the Wyckoff horizontal ranges, to kind of explain it a little bit more. And I saw this one form up on the, I think on the, this is a 30-minute chart. And I'll just kind of show you like what I was looking at that got me short on this play. You had price came down really aggressively here, and we got like this selling climax, this excessive volume, and it made the first stop right here around 54.55, and then that automatic rally was what we were talking about. Was that first big blue bar? This is a 30-minute bar, went all the way up back up to the red line, which I had marked as
Right.
resistance. So that, was just a super strong, clean move. There was no chop to it at all. So, if if I didn't catch that, I probably wouldn't be getting in here to go for the secondary test, which went below 54.55, which is really common. And to some ways of thinking might suggest that, there's more sellers in this range than buyers, possibly. So we might start thinking short if we see a lot of these secondary tests that break the line. But you'll notice they all do come back to 54.55 at the least. So then the second move up, phase B, super choppy, and then you get this C move where it's just really clean, comes down to test support, um, comes back up to test um, resistance and breaks through it, makes a false breakout. And I just wanted to point out that this little false breakout created this like little horizontal range, which was right inside this previous um, area of liquidity, this previous horizontal range, which I marked the white lines. So this was another one that formed, broke out. So technically, when all this comes back down, it's testing that red line, the bottom white line, from the previous range. So when that broke down a second time, to me, that's like, you know, it's a bad sign for bulls. So possibly
Yeah.
time to get in short. And I could be pretty confident that price, once it breaks this line again, this red line is going to go to the green line at the very least, and then we'll see what happens. And in this case, it broke down and it never retested it. So this would have been a great short. This is where I started getting in short. Um, I think for me, it was under 5,400 down to 53.58. That was the area that I was playing heavily. I'm just going to pull up um, another example here. So this is a shot of the DOM, and spotted this guy, this great big held bid at about 6 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock Eastern. It was at 55.75, and you can see there's just a ton of orders right there. And so I had a very strong suspicion that it's also near IB low, so that's a strong likelihood this IB low is going to get tested, back tested, and a strong probability that that 2800 lot is going to get hit. And we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. I don't see orders above 1,000 lot or 2,000 lot on the DOM that often,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
ES. So it grabbed my attention, and I think it kind of refers back to like what we were discussing in your last video when you spotted one of those. I think it was 1,000+ lot that did get hit and it went through. And I think in that case it was a long, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. So it was on the offer.
Yeah. But
So I had two sort of, confirmations there. One was more from a technical charting perspective, a Wyckoff perspective, that that range might break down. But then I did have, confirmation on the DOM that there was a very strong target there. And I'm just going to show you where price ended up on the chart. So the target was 55.75 with 28.16 lot. and look at where price ended up. I had 53.75 as this blue checkered line marked, and you can see it came through really strongly and then created a new value area, bounced back up to it, so now it became resistance, bounced down, bounced back up to it, still held as resistance. So once that 2800 lot went through, um, it then flipped to resistance and price was unable to break back through it.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to see how that line held up. And this is, again, a 30-minute chart. So each of these blocks of, the point figure candles are 30-minute candles or blocks each.
So did that fill on the way down and
It,
then held when it came
as
back up?
far as I could tell, it filled. Price was moving so aggressively that it went right through it, and then it came back through it again. And so the second time, maybe it went through with like 100 lot or 200 lot. So it all happened so fast that I didn't actually see the fill.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm assuming it actually did fill. If it didn't fill, it came within one or two ticks. Um, but I'm going to assume that it actually did fill and it held, just because price kept coming back to that level, was unable to break back through.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's I I don't know if that was somebody taking profit or somebody just manipulating price down. Um, but it was really kind of cool the way that worked out.
Yeah.
I have one more chart. This is a footprint that I just wanted to share with you. And this was, pretty tricky. I wasn't seeing a lot of imbalances on the footprint, which gives me a lot more confidence when I see a lot of imbalances. But what I did see was this one bullish imbalance right here at 53.88. And price had gone up and made a high. And again, there wasn't a lot of imbalances up top. So there wasn't enough to push it and keep it going. So that had me thinking, well, at the least 53.88.73 is going to get back tested. And if it holds or fails, there's this unfinished business down here at 53.80, which is also a psychological number. And we're also thinking short on this day. So I ended up getting short. Um, I think I played a small trade from maybe 53.90 to 53.88 and then waited to see price did bounce off it and then bounce back down. And then when it came through, I got short around here and targeted, 53.80. I think I took profit around 84.50, because I think price did bounce up again and then eventually came back down to 53.80. So I didn't hold it for that whole run, but it was a good short signal that came in on the tape.
That's cool. That's
Yeah, I
cool.
liked that one. Um, like a lot of times when you see a imbalance on the tape, like this one, it's kind of by itself, and then you'll notice it got backed up right here. There's a 1445 lot, but not much else, and this wasn't stacked, so this was just one big order, pretty close together. So when this one failed, I'm looking for this to get back tested. When that one failed, it's a pretty good short entry. A lot of little
That's good.
confirmations there. You'll notice too, above 1445, there was a big low volume node.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I had been feeling really confident, I don't like to play it when it's retracing, but in theory, I could have placed a short around 91 and then put a stop around 92.50 and been above this low volume node.
Mm.
Um, I don't necessarily like to do it that much. I like to wait until it just really starts cooking,
Okay, sure.
get past the chop. But it is a valid way to trade it as well if you want to trade a retracement. Not so great for using Apex when you have trailing thresholds to worry about.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it's your personal account and you want to put a break even stop or something like that, I think it's pretty valid.
Yeah, with Apex, I don't like holding through any kind of bounces or anything.
Yeah, same here.
Take it out and be done with it.
Yeah, and then if it comes back to your point of entry and it looks good, you can always re-enter.
Yeah, yeah. So where did you learn footprints originally?
Trader Dale.
Okay.
Yeah, Trader Dale on YouTube. His books were great. There was a little bit from the Ruben Villahermosa book, which he has a book on, I think it was on Wyckoff and volume profile, but there is a section on order flow, and it's short. It's not as detailed as Trader Dale's, but it kind of got my footing, and then you know Trader Dale's book is also pretty short. It's just filled with examples of how to do it. That most of the book is just examples. Um, and I don't
That's
use,
good.
I
Yeah,
don't use his full strategy, which really leans heavily on imbalances. Like if Dale likes to see three or more stacked imbalances, you know, before he even enters a trade or even
okay.
considers it. Whereas I've kind of honed it down where I do find these little entries in days that are more low volume. I can find a good entry sometimes off just a single stacked imbalance, and also the unfinished business. It's always going to get hit. I would say 90% of the time it's going to get hit. You just don't know when and if the route is going to be circuitous or not. So, but yeah, he's got a lot of great videos on YouTube.
That's cool. Yeah, I have one of his other ones, just on volume, and I really liked it. It was shorter and just simple. He just like he gives you the info without a whole lot of fluff. So
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I've been also kind of messing with the point and figure charts in TradingView, and reason being is like back in the day when they used to chart Wyckoff, they would use a point and figure chart because it helps cancel out some of the noise. Sometimes it can get tricky with like wicks and time frames. You don't know what's a good time frame to enter or where the price is setting up. So it kind of like filters everything out, which I like. Let's see here. I'm just trying to close this out. So let me see if I can just put this on a dark theme here. That that didn't work. Let's go over here to settings. Let's go to canvas. Put this on dark. Let's put this on something like that. Yeah, so this is a 1 minute chart, and you'll notice it like fractally looks very similar to the last chart that I showed you, which was a 30-minute chart. So
yeah,
it's kind of copying what was happening. Um, let's just show you how I would, if I can grab that. No,
so
can't.
I've never played with point and figures. What's the advantage of using a point and figure?
So it cancels out the wicks. The wicks aren't really given that much importance. If there's enough volume to them, they'll create um, an X or an O. Um,
Okay.
and it basically shows you where the reversals are. So to get like from this long red candle to get this little blue reversal, you'd have to get at least 3 ticks in the other direction. So this whole bit of red never had 3 ticks to signal a reversal. So it all
Okay.
prints basically red. So kind of like a way of showing the delta. Then you did get 3 ticks here, reversal, and it didn't go very far. 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 ticks. And then you started to get more red candles coming in, or more sellers coming in. It reversed at 3 ticks, and then you get this red candle. So you'll notice it alternates. So it's not time based. It's purely based on price. And as long as you don't get 3 ticks in the opposite direction, you'll continue getting an up move, and then it'll reverse and go the other way. So it only charts each alternate candle is a reversal.
Okay.
So it's only
That's
showing the
cool.
reversals. Yeah. Let's see. Let's throw a line on here. I think my settings are a bit off because I can't seem to change the color. So we'll just do it this way. So I would look for, this big selling climax. There is a strong volume bar. I don't know if we can really see it right there, but a sell bar. So I would mark that as like the selling climax right there on this candle. And then I would wait. I would put the automatic rally right there. And I'm just going to change that to red. And so now you've got your range. You can see we tested above it and kept testing it and broke back through it. It's been riding this top of the range for a bit, so this may be a new horizontal consolidation forming. But if we get a good breakdown on volume under this red line, then the likelihood is it may test the green line. Obviously, you're going to have to keep stops in place and play it as it goes, but there's a good chance, good probability of hitting that bottom line. So it's just a way of trading the range, trading the chop, so to speak.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts for Monday?
I was just about to ask you the same question. Yeah.
Yeah, we have this really big high volume node right there around 30 or so, 33, 533. So that's what I'm going to be watching for, to see how the pre-market is. Are we trading down into that, or are we going to rally off of that? And just how well that holds up was my plan. Because if we break that, we've got quite a bit of room lower.
Yeah.
But I do think it'll be a big support area.
Yeah. I have 53.32, 50 marked as value area low. You can see you've got this bearish B-shaped profile, which means any bounce is likely to get sold. You could bounce as high as 54.40 and just get whipped right back down to 53.58 zone VPOC, and then from there, it could fall off. Looking maybe a little bit longer time frame here. Let's just pull this. So I'd always look for, previous areas of consolidation. If we do go lower, the next place that it's going to target is probably this little guy right here. There's definitely like a consolidation that happened right there. So if we extend that over, that puts us near 52.90. And then the next one down. I don't think, just based off like kind of Elliott theory, that we're going to go past that. Or if we do, it's a really negative signal. But this low right here, if if this is a impulse up, and it really looks like it because, basically, you've got this up move right here, and then you've got this down move right here, this pullback. And this down move is about the same length as this one. And then you'll notice that this up move is a little bit longer than this one, which is pretty standard. If you were to count the waves, it would be 1, 2, 3. The 3 should be the longest. The 4 should pull back, and it shouldn't pull back past the lowest of the 2 wave, which would be right around 53.30. I think you can get all the way down near there, but that's where I'd be looking for it to either hold or fail. And that would
Yeah,
line up, really well with kind of back testing this big bit of sideways consolidation. There's a lot of liquidity right there, and that's
totally.
at, 53.50, all as far down as I can't really see how far down it goes, but
Yeah, it looks like, yeah,
53,
around
5,300.
290, 280 or so. Yeah.
Yeah, even as far down as 266, but I don't think it's going to go past this little consolidation right here on the left. So let's say 5,300 is a pretty good psychological round number, double
Yeah.
zero. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be looking at the pre-market pretty closely, see where we end up. Uh, After a move like that, there's going to be a lot more downside. I think we'll see selling pressure in the pre-market. I think if we get a strong rally in the pre-market, then I'll be looking to see where those additional sellers might come in after a bounce. I agree with you. I think it's going to be sold again, but that doesn't mean we can't bounce first.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. If we run the fibs on it, and I'm looking at this is at 8 hours. This is a pretty long time frame, but you can see we came down from, what was it, 57.20-ish, and hit the swing low 54.30, and then we bounced right up into discount just a little above the 50% retracement, which tells me usually when you get a 50% pullback, the measured move is to go right to, that would be 52.90, to go the whole 150% extension.
okay.
And I think that lines up with what we were just talking about. Yeah, 52.90. So if I go back and see this little consolidation right there, 52.90. So I don't think we go lower than 52.66. If we do, that's when shit really hits the fan. But it's interesting to kind of think about because there's a lot of rumors of like, is it World War III? There's this, we just sent a bunch of ships into the Middle East, um, a bunch of warships. So it's looking like that whole, you know, Gaza Strip thing is escalating into, potentially another world war, or a war that spans, several different countries. It's looking pretty intense. If that happens, I don't know what's happened in the past. It seems like you get a big drop when war starts, but then it actually kind of picks up during war, which is, sad to say, but war could be good for the stock market. Um, we'll have to see what happens. I'm going to play whichever way it goes.
I know from what I've read, podcasts, interviews, should see a huge rally in gold if that happens too. At least right off the bat.
Yeah, and did we see anything like that so far? I know the VIX spiked up to 29, which is quite a bit compared to what it's done. It can always, you know, falter right there, but if the VIX keeps going, that's going to be pretty interesting too.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see if I can pull up gold. Yeah, so we did get kind of a rally on gold on the 8 hour. So, there's been this big consolidation happening, and it looks like it's back testing it. It broke out and it's back testing it. I guess what I'm not seeing here is this would be the secondary test, and you can see that level held pretty strong. It was back tested once. This looks to me like this would actually get back tested once more down to 2309 and then take off if it's going to take off. So that might be a little start of a false breakout, but this could still turn around quite a bit. So I guess I'd be watching this range, 23 to 24, and see what gold's going to do.
So I'm reading there's some speculation that the Fed's going to cut 50 basis points in September, which I highly doubt, but I think part of the sell-off on Friday had to do with the non-farm payrolls coming in really cold,
Yeah,
showing the economy a lot weaker than people expected, I guess.
oh, that's interesting.
You, what do you think? Do you think they're going to cut? I'm still skeptical that he's going to cut at all, even
Yeah,
though
I'm
they said,
skeptical that he's going to cut. I would just say, just from my own subjective experience living in Los Angeles, it's incredibly slow here. It has not recovered from, the economic pullback.
okay,
If anything, it's gotten worse.
yeah,
Um, in terms of, my business and people coming in, it's been completely dead. Um, Supposedly the local economy is starting back up again with the film production and TV production, but we've lost so many um, projects to other places that there's just nothing being made here right now. Now,
yeah,
eventually that will come back, I think, because LA is set up for the film industry. It's convenient, but we, I guess, just avoided the Teamsters were about to strike. So we've had strike after strike after strike, and this has all gone all the way back to the pandemic when everything was shut down. So the industry really
yeah,
hasn't gotten back to work in about 4 years. So it's looking pretty desolate here. Um, Now, having been a couple other places, Utah and Chicago, Chicago was really vibrant. Um, Makes me think that maybe the rest of the country is getting back to work and we're just dragging our heels. I don't know, but it feels pretty dire here right now.
yeah,
So that makes me think that maybe there is a larger recession still on the table, and
yeah.
the whole idea of a soft landing could just be, you know, I hate to say it, but it could be false. Could hit us harder than they're letting on.
Yeah, totally, totally. I think that kind of goes into why they're kind of anticipating more cuts rather than less. But
Yeah,
I think Powell's going to be afraid to actually cut just in case. I think he'd rather overshoot than undershoot. But
that seems to be his personality and his approach so far. So why would he change now?
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Hopefully the elections won't have anything to do with it. He keeps saying that they won't. So hopefully that's true.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to see. There's so many variables at play right now.
Yeah,
Um, just kind of the regular folks that I've talked to, everyone's kind of expecting things to drag a bit before the election and maybe pick up again during the election or right after it. Yeah, I guess not to put a completely dire spin on it. I do think there's there's a lot of potential for things to turn around, but we just may be in this kind of sloppy, choppy, you know, pullback zone.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I think I read another post on X or somewhere where somebody was talking about the stats and saying, we should be due to kind of be bottoming out. Like when SPX bottoms, it doesn't just like make a sudden V reversal and bounce back higher. It actually kind of like chops around for a bit. Could be several weeks at the bottom, and that we hadn't really shown signs of that yet. So we're still in dropping and chopping mode. Um, so it make it kind of ugly and hard to trade. Um, that's kind of what I'm anticipating. I think we've had a nice bit of easy trade days, and I think it could get really choppy and difficult soon.
Yeah, yeah, I hope not. Yeah, I know it's been tough this past week with all the volatility and the thinner book. I know
Yeah,
I was struggling to keep my trades clean.
yeah, that's you know that's part of why I'm really dialing into this Norden course. Um, I think it gives great ideas for how to trade chop and sideways price action. Um, Kind of lines up with just what I've observed about the market. You know, we'll give it a shot and see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, shall we wrap things up? I don't think Nigel was able to join us today, but
Yeah,
I'll probably check in with him tomorrow post trading. Um, if you're around, maybe we could do another one just to kind of go over things. I'd love to get his insight too.
yeah, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, just let me know. I'll be around.
All right, very cool. Well, with that, I'm going to take us out. Thanks for watching. If you guys like this, hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. And again, this is the Premium Tier Futures Discord. You can find us at Premium FTS on X. And thank you guys for watching. We will check in with you very soon.